Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Strange Times Poetry Broadcast. And coming to you live from the Poetry Bookshelf to bring to you three uplifting poems. If you've never heard Strange Times before, I read three uplifting poems, as I said, one by a famous author, one by a friend, and one by myself. And if you haven't already, please like us on Facebook. We have new episodes every night at 8 p.m., and I'd love for you to join me. Tonight, I'm going to be reading poems about place, or more specifically, some other place than here. I think in sort of those moments of trying to take a break, because I think it's important to use your own agency and just take breaks from the current moment as best as you can, even if it's just 10 minutes to watch poetry broadcast or a walk around the block or a deep breath. It's so important. Um, and I was just thinking how sometimes to even just imagine ourselves in a different place is taking a break in a good way as well. So the first poem that I have is by Lucie Brock-Broido. Um, and I would say the unique thing that she does with place in this poem is how the speaker becomes the place. Um, and there are moments of beauty and uplift, but it's not all easy. Places can be difficult, and the place that she talks about difficult things happened. But it sort of balances all those things, and just in general, her poetry is so full of beauty that just the language itself I find uplifting. Oh, and this is from the Master Letters. You should take this one out from the library or Kindle or whatever. It is it is absolutely lovely. I mean, as is most of her work. Am Moor. Am lean against. Am the heavy hour, hand at urge, at the verge of one. Am the ice comb of the tonsured hair. Am the second hand, halted, the velvet opera glove. Am slant. Am fen, the injure wind at withins. Stranger where the storm forms a face, if the body stands enough in a weather, this cripple and this rough. Am shunt. Was moon-shaped helmet left in bog? Was condition of a spirit shorn, childlike and heard? Was Andalusian? Was amses? Bird? Am kept? Was keeper of the badly marred? Was furious done God? Was patient? Was bad luck? Was nurse? 90 badly wounded men lay baying in the reddened, reedy hay of Saxony, was surgeon to their flinch and hoop, was hospice to their torso hall, was numinous creature to their dying off, am numb, was shoulder and queer luck, am among, was gaunt, was why for the mutton and moss, was the rented room, was chamber and ambage and tender and burn, am esurient, was the hungry form, am anatomy, was the bleeding thing. I love that. I just imagine the biggest Moor, both the bleeding thing and the fen and the bird. I love this poem. If you want to listen to it again, I think it's important to first at least just let the language wash over you, um, and then begin to break it into exactly what she's saying. It's a good one. All right. Eitan Kodesh is the next poet that I will be reading. This poem, The Night Parade, will appear in From Lovers in Lovers and Other Still Creatures, which is his forthcoming chapbook. And this poem takes us to a place, to a celebration, but with, I think, also with that gentleness and vulnerability that I see in Brock-Broido's work. Um, you'll see when we get there. There's just so much tenderness in what is a city scene, and I love that sort of contrast of the sort of raucous evening in the city and of strangers, and then how it's held by the speaker so tenderly. The Night Parade. The night parade drifts swiftly, spinning a dance like needlework. Lovers and other still creatures come watch it slip down side streets between swirling trees, lifting their skirts. The night parade plays trumpets, cymbals, drums, loping, longing, hypnotic harp that tumbles over our faces, covers the spine and sternum of the tarmac. It sweeps the city's every part, holding it like an infant, gently rubbing away its stains. I love the idea of the music being like holding an infant and just sort of gently cleaning it. Eitan was one of the first poets who was around my age who I knew, a real in-person poet, and it's a pleasure to have Eitan's work here to share. And my last poem is called Palmyra. It's from a series that I wrote about Palmyra, Syria, and the sort of the destruction of a ruin and how that sort of reverberated through, across the sea through our culture, as well as in the place where it was happening. And in this poem, we come to the new city of Palmyra, those new cities that are built around the ancient city at the center when the ancient city is there or when it's been ruined, like in the case of Palmyra, um, and sort of the hope for new life in that new city. How life is moving on. Palmyra. In the new city, bare blue with puddles, each home cranes to what isn't, across a wake of sand. We dig through leaves for figs, mosquitoes lurking, skin close. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope these poems gave you a little break and brought you somewhere new this evening. And I hope to see you soon for another episode of Strange Times Poetry Broadcast. Stay safe, stay sane, and good night. Bye!